Jeez, I need to grab a new deck box for all these cards. It is a collectible miniatures game after all, but there are just so many cards. If only there was a way to decrease the amount of cards I need in my deck box. Oh, hey there, Simeon. I'm glad you showed up. We're about ready to get started on the podcast. What's going on, bud?
Hey, man. I always throw mine in card boxes, deck boxes too, and then throw my figures in like a deck box.
I sure do love having
usually like
individual
70 cards, so
individual sleeves for each and every single one of my cards in the set. I sure do love buying card sleeves, especially without looking at the back of the dial business. No siree, not in my Minecraft server.
Yeah, I put a whole kibosh on that. I just burned the back half of my cards, so even if someone does look at it, all they see is these big black marks.
If repainting your figure is allowed, why not just repaint the back of your card?
Yeah.
I don't see anywhere in the rules where I can't not do that.
Yeah. So if they don't say it's not allowed, that usually means it's allowed, right?
Yeah.
That's how I play the game.
That's how, yeah. Duh. But anyways, yeah, collectible miniatures game. But I honestly thought to myself, I wish I had more cards than I did figures. I just think it would be such a better game if I just had literally so many cards. I had no idea where to put them, even though it's a collectible miniatures game, and I like the figures. I think we should just go all sculpt reuse with 18 million cards, and that would just be the best. What do you think?
Well, Kalder, I think you're in luck. Because on the horizon, we have a 5-to-1 ratio card to figures set coming. And if you include sculpt reuse, the variance is even higher. It's almost like 7 cards on average to 1 sculpt. I think you're really going to be excited for this.
I am so excited. I love just having extra scraps of paper that I may never use in my entire life, just around me everywhere. That is so good.
And you'll have to keep track of them, or the figure won't be complete.
What could possibly be so useful that we could have extra cards? What in the world? By golly, gee whiz.
Well, sometimes, Kalder, you've got these teams when you're building Heroclix. So you've got like these like X-Men, and you can build an X-Men team. And they've all got this X-Men team ability. But sometimes you want more, right? So
I always want more.
We needed to find a way to bring in something more to like your Wolverine, Cyclops, like let's say your X-Men Blue. Just throwing one out there. That's a team. So you want, I don't know, something, a little additional kind of ability to this team that you're building.
Team ability. Oh, okay. Like on a card?
On like a card, yeah.
Huh.
And then you just have to keep it with you just in case.
That is such a beautiful, unique idea. That has never been done before. That is
100% new.
We should be getting paid for these amazing ideas that we keep having. Oh my goodness. We just hand this stuff out. Simeon, you should work for WizKids. I bet they would love you there.
I already do, Kalder.
Oh no.
I already do.
Is this and then I wake up from the Matrix and you rip the thing out of the back of my head? Give me a pill. It's like we all work for WizKids. You have no idea.
I have to give you the pill first, yeah. If you take the red pill, you go on playing this game for fun. If you take the blue pill, you have 400 cards for a 70 figure set.
Way around. Red pill is the. Is there a good pill? I think the knowledge one. Whatever. Bend this spoon with your brain. Anyways, I'm your host, Kalder Ness, Sexy Ranchan, Kalder Ness. You're listening to Dial H for Heroclix, episode 296. Howdy, let's get rowdy. Dial H for Heroclix is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock every day, including all the latest Heroclix singles and sealed products. Make sure you check them out at CoolStuffInc.com. Boy, did the intro fall apart there. Joining me in the studio today is my good friend co-host, Simeon Bruce. What's going on, Simeon?
Oh, I'm just prepping the calluses on my fingers for all these paper cuts I'm going to get.
Oh, yeah.
Shuffling decks for days.
I don't think I've ever had a paper cut with a Heroclix card. Maybe the first cards ever, where they're like that card stock, but that rougher,
like the edges weren't laminated.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. Every week
I think you could get a sliver from the original cards. To be honest, I think they were carved into like wood slats.
Oh my gosh! All right, shut up. I hate you so much. Moving on, what we like to start off every week is with what made us happy. Simeon, why don't you go ahead and go first?
All right, what made me happy this week was we got some new players at one of our venues. I always like getting new players. We just happened to finish our New Clicks on the Block episodes and re-uploaded like the mega episode. So it was cool to be able to use what I had kind of discussed with you and actually like walk some new guys through some games, and they had a lot of fun. And so I was like, yeah, I actually did it right this time. I actually, taught someone how to play, and at the end of it, they were like, yeah, I want to come back. This is a lot of fun. That made me feel good.
Nice. Well, that's good. Welcoming new players is just huge into the game. Like, I love it when people are, number one, welcoming to new players, and I love getting new players, so it's absolutely awesome. What made me happy this week, besides winning pre-release and just stomping everyone at your home venue, besides that, very humble skip over, was not winning the pre-release at my home venue. But I paid the entryway for another new player because, some of these, doing sealed every week or every other week can get really expensive, especially for newer players who are just new to the game and they kind of just want to play. Even if they don't have much, they just want to play with what they have. They don't necessarily want to buy all these new sets just because that's what everybody else is doing. So I went ahead, I bought her in, and I kind of helped her make the team, and I really wanted her to play Nuke because I love Nuke. And she got through about half, one of her games. She's playing against Jordan, who's a cool semi-local at our venue. If he ever shows up to play games, he's not going to listen to this, but that's calling you out, Jordan. Show up every week. Come on, man. Anyways, we came to the conclusion that Nuke is just me, because all his powers are actually just really bad movie quotes, slightly changed, or some of them aren't changed, but some are. But it's great. Yeah, we just figured out. Yeah, Nuke is just me. I mean, if I would ever get a tattoo, it would just be the American flag just right across my face. I think that can only ever go amazingly at a job interview or anything in the future. Just boom, American flag. So yeah, Nuke's great. Got to play a team. She had great fun the whole event, which is awesome, even though we both pulled Rare Iron Man for one of our rares. It kind of sucked. But yeah, besides that really made me happy. Moving on, WizKids was not going to give us a break this week. Not with pre-release or the release of the set. We got one slow-ish week. They let us catch our breath. And they were like, you know what? That's not good enough. And they piled on news. Not just news about the next set, but a whole bunch of other sets coming out for the rest of the year. So without further ado, let's go ahead and move on into the news section. Every week in news, we like to go from least to most interesting. I'm sorry if you think otherwise. You can go ahead and debate with me about what you think is least to most interesting, but it's basically what we're going to talk about for the longest to the shortest amount of time. First up, we got a look at the Green Arrow OP kit. It is an OP kit that exists. It has Green Arrow, Black Canary, and is it Catman? Is that the
Wildcat?
Guy? Wildcat, excuse me.
I used to be a boxer. Now I dress up like a big old cat. Wildcat.
Yikes, goodness gracious. But they exist. They are Justice Society style folks. Cool. Great.
I'm glad they brought back the simpler time trait.
It is cool.
Other than that, yeah, it's. I guess we got more JSA. That's modern.
Nope, it exists. Yep. We have so much news. We have so much news to talk about. Moving on, we get Blackwidow news. We got to see what she looks like on her bike. That is going to be a buyable 2x1 figure, peanut-based figure, and then we got to see the box art in the back of the box art, which is showing off a couple of sculpts. Simeon, tell me about the Blackwidow set that's coming out for the movie here.
Yeah, so the bike is going to be MSRP of $15. Ooh. That's something where you can just buy it outright and you don't have to worry about pulling it. The gravity feed, it looks like we've got 2 chases in the gravity feed. It looks like it's going to be similar to the Captain Marvel gravity feed, where I'm guessing both chases are probably Black Widow. Maybe one will be a title character one. There's approximately 5 Black Widows shown on the back of the box art. One of them looks like it has the Avengers Endgame kind of outfit. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm completely off base.
Might as well. If we're going to have 5 Black Widows, we might as well get one. There is a white suit one. I like the flex she's doing. She's doing like the Mr. Power, like normal flex, like the up in the air, both hands, biceps, like, yeah, rocking it, Black Widow.
Such a Black Widow pose.
We get to see her in her civilian kind of clothes with like the jacket, the black like leather jacket and some pants, whatever. We get to see her do a kick. There's also a big flex version of her, but it's in the white suit from the new movie. We also get to see, like what you said, there's 3 different baton ones with like batons in the back, one of her holding one baton, and then one of her holding, I don't know if it's 2, but it looks like she could be holding
maybe
both
like a
batons.
bow staff thing.
Yeah, like a bow staff thing. They really stressed her batons and like all of the artwork and everything for movies. She's had these ever since Age of Ultron. She rarely uses them though. Like, very small amount of the time do I ever notice Black Widow actually use her little batons that she has. Maybe that's
turns
just
out
me. Like,
hitting robots with sticks doesn't do a whole lot. Like
she shocks Ultron once with them. She uses her Widow's Bite very like sparsely in the movies too. Like, to me, Black Widow's main accessory is the 2 guns, like whatever she has, 9mm, whatever she has. Like, it's just like her 2 pistols is the most iconic movie thing that she honestly has. Even if they tried to switch over to batons, like yeah, pew pew. It seems like that's what she does the most. What else we got? Who else besides
got a Red Guardian? At least
Red
one.
Guardian. What a guy!
Yeah, he looks cool.
I hear it still fits.
Yep. We have at least 3 Taskmasters, so maybe shifting focus. Maybe just 3 Taskmasters. Hard to say.
They all look different enough.
Yeah, so 3 new Taskmasters. That'll bring our current modern Taskmasters up to 5, I believe.
So many modern Taskmasters. This has got to be the most amount of modern Taskmasters at any point in time, right? Like
somebody really likes them. Since I think before these last couple sets, it was Civil War, and then before that, I'd be hard pressed to think of
something like that. Yeah,
I'd be real hard pressed to find one. We've got a dude who has like a spiky shoulder pad thing, and it's hard to tell from the box art what he is or who he is.
Big movie guess, big theory guess. That my guess is that it is. Who did I say it was? The Prowler. Or Puma.
Yeah.
I don't know anything
Prowler would be real cool.
About these guys. It's not even a Soviet. They're both Spider-Man characters. But Prowler or Puma would be great, just because he looks almost purple, I guess. So yeah, that would be my best guess. If not, let's just say it's actually Darkstar, and she's not a woman, and instead she has armor. Yeah, sure. No, they would never do that.
Yeah. There's also, in the movie, there's multiple Black Widows. There's like the whole Red Room training ground, so there probably will be someone with the name Black Widow, but an alternate real name. It won't be like Natasha
Romanoff or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm honestly pretty bummed we don't have like 14-year-old tied to a chair ballerina Black Widow. What in the world? That sounds so creepy when I say it. It's in a flashback of Civil War.
We're going to have to win Worlds to make a sculpt that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like where she's got to kill the guy and she's black. Whatever. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
No, I knew what you were talking about. Yeah.
Goodness. Who else? Or was that it? No.
That's all I can really tell.
There's the blonde hair chick who is Yelena Belova, who we assume, who is apparently her sister or whatever. Everybody else has an accent except Natasha, because we're not going to make Scarlett Johansson have to do an accent. That's be too much work.
Sure.
But that's Black Widow.
I like how we had so many movies without any reference to all the characters that we're about to see, but, you know.
But it's in the past, so we don't have to explain anything, because from 1945, 44-ish, 45, to random bits they did in Ant-Man, and then Captain Marvel, like, who knows what could have happened? There could have been 1,000 superheroes, and just never had actual problems until Iron Man came along. I don't know.
Right, and then they acted like it was a big deal. They were like,
right, yeah.
What's up with these superheroes? Like, you didn't know about the tiny guy in the missile thing.
He was a secret. They kept him secret. What about the girl that flies around? No one noticed that? No, it was aliens. They kept it a secret. She was wearing a 9-inch nail shirt. Come on, dude. She was a covert. Whatever. Anyways, moving on. WKO prizing. We talked about it. We're getting Deadpool the Duck. We're getting Pixie. We're getting Quicksilver. We're getting Scarlet Witch. And, of course, we're getting the best object ever made in the entire game, the old stack of tires. Do we want to...
Also, Barrel.
Oh, Barrel. How could I forget about
Barrel? What I love about these 3D objects is I'll be able to, since they're not like super competitive, by super competitive I mean almost no one will like play them competitively. I think the Barrel, just because it's 2 points, means that no one's going to waste an ID card to destroy it. So the Barrel's like the only object in the game where you'll always be able to pick it up. Like no one will ever overreach their team to get rid of Barrel. So it'll probably make it to a couple of my teams.
Dude, keeping Barrel safe, dude. Keeping the Barrel safe.
I just have to hope for like a Smash Bros. Like set so I can have Donkey Kong throw a barrel at Mario. Yeah, I think it'll be super fun to just get a ton of like barrels and piles of tires and use them as like physical 3D terrain. Or just, I don't know, pile them up in my starting area for no reason.
I think they'll be fun for people that like to do like apocalypse style games. So I would honestly get rid of the item limit and I would have these like all over the map if I wanted to do like a Walking Dead scenario or like a Fallout scenario. I think that would be really cool. Personally, stuff like that. Like I think for a scenario style game, I would totally be down for a bunch of barrels, tire stacks, or you can recreate the greatest animated movie of all time, Cars 2, and have stacks of barrels like the one Italian car guy's barrel shop. With the forklift, it's zoom zoom, hey. I almost did it in an accent. I didn't want to offend all of our Italian viewers, though. I'm going to talk about Deadpool the Duck because he's a duck and he's morphed with Howard, so I will talk about him. It's also fit that it was previewed by Howard Brock, so I'll take it. So secretly, Duck, Howard, person named it. Just you draw the lines. I won't say anything. I will say no more. Deadpool Core, Weapon X, Animal, and Assassin keyword. He is 6 clicks long. He is a team player, so he's wild card. He's 85 points. He has the dolphin symbol, speed symbol, and the tiny size symbol. So if he's in water terrain, he has +2 defense from range, which is awesome. He has 6 bolts. 6 bolts. Goodness gracious. He has 6 range, 2 bolts. He has a trait, piling up continuity errors. Probability control, period. I like it. Cool. Deadpool the Duck has protected opposing probability control. Cool. I like it. Deadpool the Duck makes an attack. After resolutions, give him a continuity token, max 2. Once per turn, during an attack, he has line of fire. If he has line of fire to the attacker, you may remove a continuity token, change the result of a d6 roll, including 1 die of an attack roll, to a 2 or a 5. So, a few things to note. It's like softer dice manipulation. There's no chances at getting a 1 or a 6, but you feel good when you do that with those dice manipulation characters. Instead, it's a softer 2. Like, it's not going to make you crit miss. It's not like a crippling crazy thing, but it's a guaranteed 2. There's no more middle of the road kind of stuff with it. There's no crazy goodness. Chance for crazy goodness. There's no chance for middle of the road stuff. So 2, if you're lucky, that'll make one of their. I mean, if they roll 2 6s, it's still an 8, sure, but it's not a crit hit. It's okay. The 5 is also pretty good. You don't have to use your prob too much, which is nice. I can dig it. But he has to be making attacks to get this off, which is a little rough because he doesn't have willpower. He doesn't have the greatest reach in the world. Running shot is still awesome, but once again, you got to make attacks in order to get this really cool ability. Moving on, the only special power he has is his last 2 clicks. He has a special defense power, which is so long, suckers. Regeneration, period. You may remove a continuity token to change the result of his d6 roll for regeneration to a 5. So you can, if you roll bad, you can, if you stacked up, continuity tokens, you can change it to a 5, which is, boom, heal up 3, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
If you're on click 5.
That's the max now with regen, so yeah.
You guarantee a max regen. If you're on click 5, you get a heal up back to your running shot, energy explosion clicks. What does the dial look like? Well, I'm a little unenthused for 85 points, but let's just dive into it. It's very simple dial. His stats are the same for each set of 2 for his 6 clicks, which makes it really easy. So he's an 8 speed running shot, 11 attack, energy explosion, 17 defense with super senses, 3 damage with perplex. That is his first column of powers. It's same for the first 2 clicks. Second 2 clicks, 3 and 4. 7 speed charge, 11 attack with Blades, Claws, Fangs, 17 defense with combat reflexes, and 2 damage with perplex. I like this a lot. Like I said, since he's tiny and also the water symbol, if he's in water, he'll have +2 to defense from range, and now when he's close, he'll have +2 defense at close, which is really cool. And his last 2 clicks, he has 6 speed sidestep, 10 attack, nothing, 16 defense with that special defense, and 3 damage, nothing. He's very simple. I don't think he's going to be crazy good. I think he's fun enough that I'll put him on a Deadpool core or an animal theme team with like my other Howard the Ducks or with other Deadpools. I think he does what he was made to do. I think he's probably going to be one of the lowest priced WKO prizes in a long time. I just don't think he has it competitively, which is totally cool with me because I wanted this guy just because he's Deadpool the Duck. He's Howard and Deadpool mixed together. I'm a big Howard the Duck fan, so it makes it easy for me to get it. So I appreciate that from WizKids that they made him like, okay, I think he's good enough in casual that he can maybe pull some shenanigans off, and that is all I need. Simeon, if you want to say anything about him, we can. If not, we can go ahead and move on to the next spot of news.
Yeah, I think as far as the dice manipulation thing goes, Eddie Guerrero comes in at 70 points, also 6 clicks long, has a stop click that he heals off of once per game. Can't be targeted because of the WWE team ability when he's on click 1 and on his last clicks. So I think as far as like him being competitive goes, I think we can kind of rule him out at 85 points. He's just a little too expensive for what he does. It is a really cool ability, and the 5 means that if you're rocking one of like the Infinity Gems on a character and Howard's helping you and, he bumps, like, let's say you roll a 5 and a 1 or a 5 and a 2 and he turns it into a 10, or if you're running Brotherhood and, like he makes you roll a 10 because a 5 is real good.
Right on.
I mean, gives you a lot of options, but nothing super competitive that I can see.
All right. I talked about him for a little too long. We'll try to keep it a little bit shorter when I move on. Next up, there are no dials to talk about here, but we can go ahead and mention all the fun Spider-Man stuff we got previewed. Simeon, you want to talk about the Spider-Man stuff, all the sculpts and things and such that we saw?
So in case you weren't listening around Worlds time, WizKids announced a Maximum Carnage, Absolute Carnage. I don't know. It's a Carnage set.
One of those.
It's going to be called something. I don't know if they've solidified the name, but
there's going to be
Spider-Man
Carnage
and Venom and Absolute Carnage and other symbiotes. Party Time is what the name officially is. No, I think it's going to be Spider-Man and Venom, Absolute Carnage is what the name of the set's going to be.
Let's spend 5 more minutes talking about the name of the set.
So we got a couple pictures. One looks like it could be Fast Forces, but we have no idea so far. But we've got a Black Cat. She's holding her whip. She's looking like Black Cat. Pretty standard kind of sculpt. We've got a crouching Spider-Man.
I've never
on
seen
the ground.
a crouching Spider-Man before.
I know. It's crazy. We have a Spider-Gwen who is leaping slightly off the ground. She's just barely leaping and shooting a web out. Pretty cool sculpt. Better than some, not as good as others. We have a Mysterio, which will be his return to the Heroclix since I think in like 2016 he had an LE set. We have a Eddie Brock looking Venom.
I thought that was Roman Reigns.
Almost.
Isn't that him doing his signature move, the curb stomp?
Oh, you Seth Rollins?
Seth Rollins, right. Stomp. Oh my gosh, and I still
Roman Reigns is the Superman punch.
Yeah, I hate that too.
I don't like
either of them.
Just don't make your finisher a punch or a kick or like it's got to be more than what other wrestlers do as their standard like move set. It has to be something better. We've got a real thick boy looking Carnage guy.
Yeah, he is thick.
He's a red symbiote. I don't know why he's so big, but he is. He's real big. Maybe it's like symbiote. I don't know who's roughly that size. Not the Hulk, but like I don't know. I'm gonna say it's Carnage, Macho Man, Randy Savage. We've got Spider-Man on top of Trash Can. That's a cool one.
So it's a trash can on top of another trash can? Is that what you're saying to me?
Oh, no, Spider-Man's good. This has got to be like, if it's not a chase, it's got to be like a title character or a super rare or something. This is Carnage on top of a tombstone that says Brock. So that's a really cool sculpt. And then we've got some sort of, I don't know if this is Spider-Gwen with the symbiote on her, or if it's a character I'm not aware of.
The way it looks, I do not like it. It is very creepy.
Yeah, it looks like Spider-Gwen, but like the rim of her hood is giant teeth, and then there's like a tongue / like spiky appendage coming out of her leg. So kind of interesting. We already got a preview kind of thing for this, but it's Leonardo da Venom. It is, he's got the wings that Leonardo da Vinci created, but he got attacked by a symbiote back in ye olde time. So this is one of the characters that WizKids was allowed to create. Those are the sculpts we saw.
Awesome.
We got a little bit more information about the actual set. So there's going to be Spider-Man is going to be the OP kit figure.
Wow.
That's fun. There's going to be 5 copies of your double-sided 2x36 map, so that's also interesting. One addendum / instruction sheet. Not sure what exactly that'll be, but one of the cool things that I saw is in the kind of like the solicit for it, they're bringing back some special objects. So we're going to get pumpkin bombs as special objects. The Carnage symbiote, which we've had 2 regular symbiotes, but now we're going to get a Carnage symbiote, which I don't know, plasticity blades maybe, shape change. I don't know. And all black the Necro Sword, which is a super Thor thing, not really a Spider-Man thing, but all black the Necro Sword, super cool object that I'm glad we're getting.
Interesting. All right, cool. Any other thoughts about the Spider-Man and Venom Absolute Carnage set?
It says 7 equipment objects included with select figures, so I'm looking forward to new equipment, but other than that, we'll just have to wait till we see more.
One thing, this is probably what I assume is going to be the chase theme, is alternate versions of Spider-Man and Venoms. They say, never before seen characters created exclusively for this set from the Spider-Verse. You can say anything is from the Spider-Verse and make it up, because it's from any verse and it'll exist probably. Spider-Man 1776, Spider-Pharaoh, and then of course they mention once again Leonardo da Venom. I like America. This is the American Revolution version of Spider-Man. If he's on the right side, then I'll absolutely love this. I can't imagine he's British. There's no way. There's
red coat Spider-Man.
No way. I get it. It probably fits his color scheme more, but there's no way they're gonna make this Spider-Man British. Please, if it is, I will get it just to smash it with a hammer, because I'll be so livid. I love it. I'm glad they're making a Spider-Man set. I would be more excited for it if they didn't ruin my Earth X set by putting Spider-Man into it. I hate you guys so much for doing that. And then also ruining my Chase Earth X theme with Venom chases. It's okay. Cap set was a close enough love letter, but you tried to make it not, to make me forgive you for ruining Earth X. So yeah, we'll take it. But it's really hard for me to get excited for Spider-Man when you put him in sets he doesn't belong. And when we get a Spider-Man in almost every Marvel set.
Fair enough, yeah.
All right, moving on. On that beautiful note, we're going to talk about the Fantastic Four. Who is fantastic? All 4 of them. But this set will have more than 4 characters. As we see, we get a couple of different pictures here. We have a Super Skrull with a new interesting sculpt. He's using all 4 of the powers like you expect a Super Skrull to be using. We get a Silver Surfer with a slightly different sculpt than the Silver Surfer we were getting in the whatever set, the starter set, scenario set. We get a Future Foundation Sue Storm with a very cool shield, and she's doing a little leapy thing, and then her bottom half is a little more transparent, so it kind of meshes with her leap effect we have going on, which is cool. And then we get a darker colored blackish suit, Mr. Fantastic, who is throwing up the dukes, but in like a really roundabout fashion, so you can show off that stretchiness that he's got going on, a little elongated torso as well, and he's got a beard. What a guy, that Mr. Fantastic. We also get a few more pictures. I assume this is the starter set. I believe this is what they said the starter set was going to be, right? We get Grey Hulk, Spider-Man, and the Fantastic Four suit. They're all wearing their Fantastic Four colors. So.
Yeah, this is the like alternate. Yeah. It's like under the Fantastic Four name, but not the first family.
There was one thing that threw me off because I didn't know she was a part of it. When you say Wolverine, I think Logan. So, and when they were Ghost Rider, Spider-Man, and Grey Hulk, I thought Logan was also a member of the Fantastic Four, but instead we have X-23 here, who she went by Wolverine. She was all new Wolverine for a bit, but I didn't know they did a Fantastic Four issue with her. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but that is who we have here. Yeah. We have a Black Panther. He is crouching, and he is black, like all black head to toe. Like he's Black Panther. Like there's so little no difference in any Black Panther. It's really
no blue suit on him.
No cape though. No cape for this one. Poor guy. And then we have the She-Thing, who is wearing the big like leotard thing with the shorts and like the sash. I'm pretty sure it's a robot. I'm 90% sure she's a person in a robot. I don't know if she actually turned into a thing woman. I'm 90% sure she's a person in a robot suit. And then we get to see a Golden Age-ish look of Mole Man, which is really cool. He's very bright, colorful. He's got his green, but he's got a bright red, humongous collar. He looks incredibly wrinkly. Excuse me. He needs to put some moisturizer on him. He needs to drink a little more. He looks dehydrated. Honestly, he looks unhealthy. I know he doesn't get any sun. Yeah, that's what it is. But goodness gracious, Mole Man, you're looking rough, bud. Moving on, there's more than just that.
He's like a huge bystander generator.
I hope so too.
I hope he just like pops out moloids and I don't know, other stuff.
WizKids didn't want to give us a break though, so they went ahead and literally yesterday went live on Facebook. If you follow them on Twitter or on any other platform, I think it's just Twitter and Facebook are their main ones. Definitely give them a follow on Facebook so you can stay tuned for when they do live videos. You don't get left in the dust when things like this happen. So they did a live video. They showed off the Thing, Mr. Fantastic, Human Torch dials that are coming in the new Fantastic Four starter set. Expected release is around early March. And then they also showed off the couple of the scenarios. They showed off the Yancey Street scenario for sure. I started watching it and then I had to go. So thank you, Simeon, for getting the screen caps for us. Do you want to talk about any of the super cool, awesome characters here that they showed off on their Facebook Live?
I'm actually going to talk about the previous live where they.
Ooh, that's right. They went live twice. Excuse me.
Yeah.
They did go live.
So
twice.
In the first one, they showed us Reed Richards' lab, which it's got like an interesting little 5-point kind of thing that it does. And then they also showed us the Latveria, like, Doom's Castle with its location bonus. And I think this is the first location bonus that can be 0 points depending on what your team has on it. So that was kind of a cool addition. We saw some Doombots. We saw some Latverian, like, little bystander guys. That'll be, like, little support dudes. There's also Doom's Testing Ground, but we didn't get to see if I don't think that had any special feature to it. And then the most important figure, we got to see the Silver Surfer.
Ooh.
The Herald of Galactus. The shiny one. The guy from California. No, he's what is it? From Alderaan? Is that it?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Nornrad from Alderaan. Yeah. Alderaan Places.
That totally.
It's Shenla or something. I don't remember.
Just talk about his style. You're killing me, Alderaan.
Silver Surfer. He comes in. He's got Annihilators. He's got Defenders. He's got Cosmic. He's got Herald. Really like my Annihilators. So hopefully we get like a full Annihilators team in this set. I'd love to get Ronan the Accuser when he's like top Annihilators fashion. That's my favorite Ronan. He's got one trait. Real name Nornrad. One trait, Behold the Power Cosmic. Free. Choose a standard attack power. Until your next turn, Silver Surfer can use that chosen power, and characters he hit can't use the chosen power. Oh. So not only does he take any power he wants, He can take Precision Strike, he can take Pulse Wave, he can take Pensai, he can take Blades, Steel Energy. If he hits the person with it, he can make them not have that power, so that's fun. He's got improved movement through characters. He's also got flight. So basically everything except blocking. He's got a special speed power that he gets on every top click, no matter what top click you play him on, and that is hypersonic speed. When Silver Surfer uses it, he may be given a capital range action at no cost instead of making an attack. Now, capital range, if you are aware, will give you access to things like Pensai, Pulse Wave, Energy Explosion, Precision Strike is always a given. Is there any other range power that I'm missing here?
Is it Pensai, Energy Explosion, and Pulse Wave? I can't personally think of any off the top of my head that work off.
I think those are the big ones. Yeah.
Right on.
So
worth noting.
All the stuff to get rid of reducers if need be. He's got a special damage power that he also has in conjunction with this special speed power at the top of every dial, and that special damage power is tracking the subatomic across space. Free. Choose an improved targeting ability, except targeting through hindering, to use until your next turn. He may choose improved targeting destroys blocking. I said hindering. So he can't see through blocking, but he can destroy blocking if he uses the targeting through blocking with destruction. The difference is if you have the special ability to see through blocking without destroying it, you can target through all blocking, and at the end of it, nothing happens. If you're targeting through blocking with the destroy thing, you can only target through one square of blocking when you shoot, and at the end of that action, that blocking will become hindering. So there's that. He starts with his hypersonic. He's got 300, 200, and 100 point values. He's got the Defenders and Power Cosmic team abilities. 8 range, 1 target. At 300 points, you get a 13 speed, 12 attack, 19 defense with Invincible, and 5 damage with his special see-through, whichever you pick. He goes down to 2 clicks of probability control, and then his next dial at 200, it's a 12 speed, 11 attack, 19 defense, Invincible, 4 damage. So he loses an attack, and he loses the speed and a damage, but he's 100 points cheaper. He then goes down to 2 more clicks of prob, and then his cheapest dial, he's got the same hypersonic. He's got 18 instead of 19 Invincible, 3 damage instead of 4 or 5, and he can still see through stuff, and he can still hypersonic. I really like this guy because if you hypersonic Pulse Wave, you're having his range twice. So hypersonic Pulse Wave is a 2 at top dial, which I probably wouldn't play him at top dial. I'd probably play him around like 100, so I could play him with Galactus or something. But any dial that you play him on, he's going to have a 2 square Pulse Wave, which means be super easy to do like a single target Pulse Wave on an enemy. And top dial, he's a 12 for 5, which is just real nasty.
I like him because he is relatively like simple, right? He's straightforward. He's got hypersonic speed. He can choose an attack power, and he can use whatever attack power he chooses with hypersonic speed. I like that. It's really cool. I think most starter set figures should be more like that. They can do something a little extra, which is neat, but they're just straightforward and really cool. And I appreciate that about the Silver Surfer. And he feels like a really cool Silver Surfer, too. So I really appreciate that.
Equip him with the Soul Gem, and he can running shot, Pulse Wave, heal all the clicks he wants.
Good job.
Why not? Why not do that at 200 points?
I actually changed my mind about who I wanted to talk about, so I'm not going to be talking about the Mr. Fantastic, Johnny, or the Thing. Worth noting is that the Thing has Fantastic Four Colossal Retaliation, which is cool. Mm-hmm. The dice in the starter set are on the 4s. The 4 logo is on the 4s, which is cool. I know people wanted the X-Men logo to be on the 5, since rolling a 5 was the whole thing. They didn't do that then, and I think they learned from that, which is cool. So now the 4s are on the 4, which is perfect. Yeah, so I think it's really cool. Like Torch can poison at any time during the turn, even if he moves, which is really cool. I think he feels like a Human Torch. You know, I like that about the starter set, and I know I'll probably be picking one up just because why not?
We'll also be giving one away when they do drop.
That's right.
Eventually.
So whenever they drop in that month, whenever we can get our hands on one, we'll be giving it away that month. So be on the lookout for that, Patreon members. If you go ahead and join the Patreon, you'll be entered all of our great monthly giveaways. It'll be fantastic.
Four.
Like the Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's where you're going with that. Look, it's save. We're good. We're safe. Moving on. Let's talk about some animated people, like the Justice League animated show. We got to see a few dials from Game Trade magazine. We got to see a Wonder Woman, a Lex Luthor, and he's a knight, and I can't think of his name.
Shining Knight.
I feel bad. Shining Knight. That's right. We got to see Shining Knight. We also got to see how the team-up cards worked. I know they mentioned the team-up cards in the original solicit, and we were slightly confused about what those were. I think me and you both assumed they were going to be like a Civil War-style bounty card or like an ID card or something that gave you a team-up ability. Instead, it looks like the team-up cards are going to be not normal version, but a normal Heroclix card with an extra trait that works specifically when there is a character that character will team up with. And we'll get into more of that later because they did release an article. I think the Game Trade magazine got spoiled, and then people were very confused at what exactly was going on. And then they made an article which helped explain everything that they were doing. I'm going to go ahead and talk about Lex Luthor because how can I not? Because I like Lex Luthor. So we're going to start with his normal dial, and his team-up card only gives him like an extra trait, which is about most of what these team-ups do. They are normally about an extra trait and then maybe an extra power, but we'll go into Lex Luthor. He's an uncommon, and I think he'll be pretty solid in sealed play. Obviously, we don't know what much of this set does, but I like him already. He has no special combat symbols. He has 6 range, 1 bolt. He is Superman enemy in Injustice League. He's 50 points. He has running shot, top 2 clicks, sidestep for the last 3. Special attack power is old dial. ESD his first 3 clicks, willpower his last 2, and then he goes from enhancement to outwit to enhancement, outwit, enhancement. His first trait is Injustice League. At the beginning of the turn, roll a d6, result of a 6, give an action token to blah, blah, blah. Is that an opposing character of 100 points or less? Sorry, it's a little fuzzy. Yes, an opposing character.
Action token.
It is anti.
The opposite of the Justice League. Yeah. So we saw the Justice League trait in Batman Animated, and this is the opposite.
Because they're the in Justice League. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
His special attack power he has the entire time is free. Choose one: Penetrating Psychic Blast, Precision Strike, Range Combat Expert, or Sees Through improved targeting, not movement. Sees Through hindering terrain. He can use the chosen power or ability this turn. I think this is really cool for a lot of reasons. If you carry up Lex, then you can put his 11 to 3 for a little more work, make it a 12 for 4, 13 for 3, 11 for 5, however you want to do it. Or you can choose Precision Strike and Pen Blast, which I think are 2 very solid powers to be able to use, especially in a sealed format.
Yeah, or maybe you push him and see through hindering to outwit stealth.
Absolutely. See, there's lots of cool stuff you can do. Lex Luthor, he's got a big brain. You got to pull off some big brain moves. What can I say? Jeez.
Pro gamer moves.
Yeah, pro gamer move. He has he's in Justice League, Metropolis. Oh, goodness gracious. I can't even see it. It's blurry. Politician and scientist. Project Cadmus. Is that new?
That's his other named keyword. I have to assume that's a new keyword because I've never. Maybe we've had one before, but
what that is,
man, that's got to be like as of now, like maybe 5 figures with that keyword, maybe if it's even in existence.
Right on. And then his team up is 025.5, so his set number is 025, and this is his 0.5. So we assume this is his 5th team up card. It's a little tricky. We'll explain it here in a bit. It's basically just team up Ultra Humanite. If a friendly character is on the map, Lex Luthor can use Mind Control, and that's it. And then the rest is the team up card rules, which we'll get into. But basically, if you have Ultra Humanite on the map, Lex Luthor can also use Mind Control. So now he can like running shot Mind Control with Precision Strike if he wants to, which is cool.
Yeah.
So that's pretty neat. So that is Lex Luthor, and we talked about all these cool cards. Simeon, is there a character you want to talk about before we jump into stuff about the cards?
I'll mention Wonder Woman.
Okay.
I do want to give a shout out to Shining Knight, just because his team up card did give us Crimson Avenger, Green Arrow, Speedy, Stargirl, Stripe, and Vigilante. So those are going to be
excited
in the set.
For Vigilante. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, they did. WizKids did say there's not going to be any people listed on a team-up card that aren't in the set. Not to say that like you can't get like, oh, you can team up with Batman and you can't team up with like a Batman outside the set. But if it is listed on your team-up card, that figure will appear in the set. So we definitely will have a Stripe. We will have a Vigilante. And I'm looking forward for the Crimson Avenger. So even though he wasn't a huge part in the animated series. That's all I'm going to say about Shiny Knight, because Wonder Woman, number 009, she's a common, real name Diana. Justice League team. Not a big surprise. I don't.
Why do you? What?
She's from Themyscira, so maybe they pronounce it different. She comes in at 90 points. She's an Amazon Justice League deity warrior. She starts off with hypersonic, super strength, 18 with invincible and 3 damage leadership, 11 attack, 9 speed, flight. She's Indom, all the things that Wonder Woman should be. It's a little too sad that hypersonic super strength doesn't stack for her because
nope, I'm okay with that. It's fine.
For 90 points, she's a little lackluster for 90, but she's got the Justice League Unlimited team ability, which at the beginning of your turn you roll a d6, and on a 6 you remove an action token from another friendly character with the Justice League that's 100 points or less. The opposite of Lex Luthor's. Ooh. She also has the trait Princess of Themyscira. Wonder Woman takes a maximum of 1 damage from range attacks if she can draw a line of fire to her attacker. That doesn't say anything about range, so as long as she can see them, which she should be able to, because if they can see her, unless they've got like improved, elevated or something, she should be able to see them on off turns. So that's fun. Being able to take a max of 1 means they'll be bringing it into a close game, which is exactly where she wants it. She moves from Invincible Hypersonic to Charge with Super Strength, and then Charge with Quake. Her last 4 clicks are Combat Reflexes, and then her last 3, she's got some Empower, so she becomes a bit of a team player. Her attack goes down to a 9 on her last click, but, you can't expect a whole lot on that. Pretty solid little common piece. Be great and sealed. We've got a ton of Wonder Women to choose from, so I don't know if this will be the first I go for, but we'll have to see what the team-up cards do, because her number 003 is Team Up Batman. If the listed friendly character is on the map, Wonder Woman can use stealth and has free if you occupy hindering terrain, move up to 2 squares. So this is cool for a lot of reasons. It's not sidestep, but it's basically sidestep. All you have to have is Batman on your team, and it gives her even one more additional thing to protect her from range. Since her whole dial is close, being able to be protected from range is pretty cool. But yeah, that's all she's got going for her. That is .003, so we know that Wonder Woman has at least 4 cards. She'll have her main card, and then a .01, a .02, and at least a .03, possibly more.
Okay. Nice.
So let's go into...
Let's do it. Heroclix
do some
fans. DC Heroclix.
Yeah.
Justice League Unlimited is coming soon, and within that set, there's a big, bold, exciting experiment. Team-up cards. Within this set, players will find special team-up cards, quote-unquote cards, they can utilize instead of a character's regular card, which will grant certain bonuses depending on how their team is built. Check out this Hot Girl card to get a sense of what they'll look like. We already talked about people that are using the card, so let's keep going. Simeon, read the next
All right. So, quick question. Will I always get the matching card, or get the matching character with my team-up card? WizKid says, most of the time, if you pull a Batman team-up card that allows him to team up with Green Lantern, you'll pull Batman but not necessarily Green Lantern. The team-up card would be a 6th character card in your booster. So it's going to be taking up it's not going to be taking up a slot. It's going to be an additional card to your previous cards, and the way they word it, it might be in conjunction with the character, but I have to imagine like some of them won't be. So team up cards. Going back to WizKid's article, team up cards will appear pretty frequently in boosters, but there will be a large variety of them. In fact, this might be the Heroclix set with the most team-building permutations we've ever done. It's complicated. We haven't crunched the numbers. I have. It's about 360 extra cards. However, that was me, not WizKids. However, these cards also come with a restriction. You can't choose a team-up card if any character on your starting force share a name. So this is going to this is going to enforce a Highlander rule upon your team if you want to run these team-up cards. Let's say you have a team-up card with Martian Manhunter and Batman, and you're also running 2 Apache Chiefs. Can't do it. You can run a non-theme team with that Martian Manhunter and Batman. You can run a generic theme team, but what you can't do is have that team-up card and multiples sharing a name. So it's a little sad because...
I can't play 2 Apache Chiefs if I have a team-up with somebody else. But how am I going to nuck my Chuck if I only have one Chuck to a nuck? A nuck Chuck cannot nearly a nuck enough Chuck if the Chuck is to be a nucked. Goodness gracious.
So what this... According to WizKids, what this means is that you couldn't utilize multiple copies of the same character. Example, Batman. Yep, that's a character. On your team that might look exactly the same but play differently. It easily could get confusing. So not only can you play multiple Batmans, you can't do things like have high themes so you can win map.
I agree. It is really, really confusing when there are 2 characters on your team that look the exact same, maybe even share the exact same sculpt, but play differently. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine how incredibly, painstakingly confusing that could possibly be. I'm so glad they're doing this to help.
I've never ran like 5 big Tonys and been like, man, they share a sculpt, but they play so differently. Because this one is getting carried by that one, and then afterwards he is carrying that one. They're playing so differently. They are perplexing when adjacent to friendlies. That's, in my experience, that's when you're playing multiples of a character. It's not when, I've got a Batman that can throw down Smoke Cloud and a Batman that has Incapacitate. That's not what I'm doing.
The 2 greatest powers in the entire game, by the way.
I'm spamming, I'm spamming the cheap supporty characters and Retaliator stuff. That's what's getting spammed, not the cool team up guys. They go on to say,
didn't mean to derail you.
No, that's fine. We suspect that most players won't be able to hunt down every team up card, and while there is a lot of variety, many are based around slight tweaks to who you can team up with. We have a few goals that we hope these cards accomplish. I don't like that. I don't like that you suspect that most players won't be able to hunt down every team-up card, because I feel like if I pull, Wonder Woman, and she's got 12 team-up cards, if I want to fully utilize my Wonder Woman, I'm going to want access to all of them. Maybe I don't ever want to play her with Green Arrow. I'm like, I hate that episode. Terrible episode. Never want to watch it. I always avoid it and fast forward through the commercials and so I can skip it. That's fine, but I feel like having an incomplete figure it's gonna be a little sad, even though I might not need all the team up cards, or maybe one's really rare and they forgot to print and package most of them, or they only sent all of let's say they sent all of the Wonder Woman Superman team up cards to the Pacific Northwest and they didn't send any to the Midwest, and then there's no way that I can team Wonder Woman up with Superman unless I trade. Well, they've got an answer for that too. They're trying to encourage trade, so there's that.
So, like you were saying, I think the main problem that might happen before we go off the road too much is that if there's a rarity, if straight up some cards are just rare, if they're tied to rarity, like a super rare card, and then it has 4 other cards, and then some are just more rare than others, and it makes it really difficult to get. That is really going to suck. If cards have rarities, that will really suck and really put a damper on it. If they don't, and they're totally random, and they have no rarity at all, and they just get thrown in boosters, it might be better. But first of these They have a great PowerPoint presentation of like 8 little pluses to the cards, or just things you can do with them anyways. The first of these is fairly straightforward. Surprise and delight. Perhaps you've seen 10 other team-up cards that are very similar. But this one has a particularly cool and interesting combination that you haven't seen before.
Is that a shiny Wonder Woman?
Ooh, boy.
I pulled a shiny.
Is that a shiny?
I haven't seen this. I'm surprised and delighted.
That was my exact thought. It was both like surprise, like, oh, I didn't expect that, and yet I liked that, and so I liked it. So I was delighted for that unexpected surprise. We hope team-up cards create exciting moments like these for our players. They learn the near endless ways characters can interact.
As long as they're within the same set.
As long as they're within the same set.
Well, I mean, you can, or same universe.
You can
I
use
guess
same universe, yeah.
Although there's only going to be like one Ultra Humanite that Lex Luthor can team up with. Sure. So second is metagame diversity. We believe there will be many viable teams that can be constructed thanks to a wide variety of cards that have been designed. With most games being played at 300 points, that's your own fault, WizKids. Just throwing that out there. If you allow other game types, then that wouldn't be most games. That's all games, by the way. 300 points, it will simply be impossible to cram all possible combos into one team, much less optimize them. So I like this. I like the thought. I will have to see it in practice because, to be honest, the current meta, what I am assuming is going to be Vulture with like a +11 theme team on Shield, and I'd love to see some DC be able to hold up against that. So if these cards allow that, great. I'm all for it. I feel like they might not win map ever, though. So I don't know if that's possible.
Third is unexpected teams. Ooh. We look forward to seeing events where a particular combo is satisfying and exciting because the player had something rare to their local playgroup and decided to try something they otherwise might not have.
Yeah, that's called a WKO. I love those too.
Yep.
Teams that don't necessarily do great at like higher events, but just the fun things that kind of get tweaked and worked.
Fourth, this is a really, really fun combo. The other 19 odd years of product you have, and when I played Golden Age and not Modern, and so I didn't even know that existed. That's
when I
great
built
fun
to
combos.
More than 300.
Yeah, more than 300 Modern. We can play some great teams. All right, sorry.
Yeah. When I play one of those figures that comes in at like 250, and I can't normally play with anything else. Fourth is community building. So they're going to help us out here, guys. They're going to help us build our communities. Let's see how. It's hard to create something that's easy to acquire but also worth trading. So it's hard for them to make something that's easy for you to get, but other people actually want. I agree. However, with team-up cards, you'll end up with several cards that may not be a fit for your team, but should have value for other players. So, like, you're going to get a card, like I was saying, like you might get like a Wonder Woman Superman, and you're like, I hate these both. I don't like Wonder Woman, I don't like Superman. I prefer Wonder Woman and Batman only. But someone else that you play with is like, well, I really like Superman and Wonder Woman. Like that's my dynamic duo, if you will. I prefer the Amazonian and the Kryptonian, the double Indians. I don't know. Whatever.
With Simeon? The Indians?
Yep, the Simeon Indians.
Sorry.
So for others who are looking for particular combination of heroes,
dumb. Oh my god.
This will provide trade opportunities and fun interactions within your community. So your community already has to be a little built, in my opinion, for this to happen. But it definitely will be. This will be like one of those sealed event things where you'll be shouting across like the venue, like, I got an extra like this card, like I don't want this card, and like you might leave there with one that you do want. So
I don't think this is community building as much as it's like fellowship building. Like there are lots of people at the venue who you like just don't talk to unless you have to play a game, right? You're not necessarily friends with everybody there, and now it's more chances for interaction than just like awkwardly walking up to someone like, here's stuff I have to trade. And instead it's more like, hey, I got some of these cards. It's more of an opening window. I think it's cool. I actually think that's better for like a fellowship style. I think that's cool.
And not to take a shot at WizKids, but like this is already how we trade things. Like,
yeah,
this is what we already go like, hey, I pulled this like rare flash, and I'm not big into speedsters. Did anyone pull like something better? And then you trade.
Yeah. So, no, that is really cool. And they are right. It's hard to make something easy to get that is sought after. Besides generics, no one trades commons and uncommons that much, really. Like, it's not something you see a whole lot. So, I do appreciate that. Fifth, we hope that these cards will land in the hands of new players as well as those who don't necessarily buy a significant amount of product. Acquiring even one of these cards should create a variety of opportunities for them. Primarily, we hope that new players will take advantage of these cards to build more powerful teams for themselves than they might otherwise be able to with a fledgling collection. Some players will go on to refine those teams and tactics, while others might trade these cards for other Heroclix to cater to different strategies. This also encourages these players to finish a team that works well with the card. See community building above. We just did. In particular, plenty of these team-up cards will grant bonuses when paired with characters in the Justice League Unlimited starter set, making them accessible to new and experienced players alike. So it's kind of like a yes, but actually no. If they are so rare, then my fledgling collection might not have anything that works with these, unless, of course, they get traded. So it kind of depends. I only bought 2 boosters because of pre-release, and I don't have that much to buy on more sets. I don't want to go crazy deep into this hobby yet. So they are right that it will help, with the quote-unquote community building, the trading. But also, if I have a small collection and also I only get the ones that don't work with my team, then it just doesn't work. So it's kind of like, yeah, sure, but no.
Right. This reminds me a lot of, like, the Deadpool set, the word balloons. Where, like, if you had a Deadpool that could use word balloons, you probably didn't have all of them, but, like, the trading, like, the extra ones you did could get you other word balloons. I don't think anyone ever traded word balloons for actual figures in my venue. I'm sure people did do that, but it was very rare that, like, you'd be like, hey, I've got this thing that works for only one specific character. Would you like to, like, trade it for, like, things of value? And they were just like, no, I would not.
Yeah,
I will. You can keep your sheep gun. Sixth, Heroclix veterans are likely to find fun combos when they take characters from Justice League Unlimited and team them up with characters from outside of this set. Building teams with characters from multiple sets is always fun, but team-up cards are going to give this facet of Heroclix an exciting twist. Yep. It's going to give you the power on the card with, hopefully there's a Golden Age figure with those, like, things. I know, like, some of these characters, like not Shield, I can't remember his name now, the big robot guy that I just talked about, with Stripe. There is literally one Stripe in Heroclix, and he's not even correctly named, so even in Golden Age, he doesn't work. But it will be fun to take one of these characters. There probably won't be a ton of team-up cards that are worth using, but if you find that one, like, niche team-up card, and you've got, like, a Golden Age figure that's going to be really fun to throw in with it, I'm sure it'll be exciting.
And I think Golden Age is going to be the way to go, unless they put this in any other style of set. There aren't that many DC sets. I mean, this is no secret. There's like one a year, and sometimes they're a little lackluster rebirth. So yeah, it just kind of depends. But it's good that it will work with people outside of the set. Obviously, there are Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman in other sets, so we know they will work, which is cool. So yeah, I'm glad they did mention that, at least, that it's mixing sets. Yeah. That's cool. It's fine.
And at least with this set, we'll have the same amount of DC cards that we do of Marvel cards this year. So that's exciting. We'll have
perfectly balanced as all things should be in at least one aspect.
Sure.
Oh, geez. 7th is great storytelling. We hope the storytelling possibilities that team-up cards introduce will add new layers to the Heroclix experience. Ooh, the Heroclix experience. Sure, Hot Girl and Dr. Fate have teamed up, yes. Their abilities are diverse and synergistic, but with the benefit of team-up cards, you will be able to get a specific feel of how they worked together during memorable episodes of Justice League Unlimited, like Wake the Dead. See the preview below. You could say the same about Huntress and The Question playing well together, but the dynamic was especially brilliant in Double Date. I love this. This thing I am actually totally on board with. Because people want accurate characters, right? When they get a set of any specific version, they want characters that are from certain storylines. They want them to feel like they're playing from those storylines. And when it's from TV shows, everybody out there has like a different favorite episode, right? Like of the Justice League Unlimited, there's 100 something, who knows how many episodes. Someone does, but I don't, okay? And they want a hot girl that feels just like Wake the Dead or whatever, like that was just their favorite episode. They want a character, you can make a generic hot girl that it just feels like hot girl all the time, and then hey, this one specifically works with that character. Now it might not totally be the same because like some of these are just granting a power, so it's like she can use smoke cloud. I'm like, okay, sure, or whatever that episode is about, right? Like that's thematic. It's not the best, but sure, I'll take it. So that's probably what a lot of these are going to be. But I do like that they are specifically saying, and at least that when they were designing this, they specifically had certain team-ups and certain episodes in mind, which I think is actually really cool. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah, and I think moving forward, that's not a bad idea for animated stuff. Rather than getting, especially when it's like an animated series that is like a team-based thing, and episodes break off and like focus on like certain characters and not others. I don't think it's a bad idea to have like a diverse power set like this, where it's like, these team-up cards. So I do appreciate that. 8th and last, these team-up cards will help keep sealed events feeling fresh. You and your opponent might both open similar teams, but they could end up having key differences from one another. At large events like Team Nationals and Team Worlds, adding variety to sealed product will help test team building and tactics in new and interesting ways. Interesting that they say that. This will be the Team Nationals sealed set. So it is possible that you will like open, let's say, Hawk Girl, and you'll have, 3 of the characters that she can team up with, and you didn't open up a team up card, but somebody on your team opened up that card, and like, oh my gosh, now I can play this 30-point figure with her team. That's so great. It's going to be, I don't know. I do like that it's going to add an aspect to that. It will be fresh for the amount of time that it's in sealed. So there's that.
I think it is really cool. I specifically like the idea of team, like when it's a team event. If you've ever played a team event, do it. If you ever had the chance to play a team event, it is seriously tons of fun. I think this will be great for teams in normal 2 booster sealed. I don't see you, just because of how many team-up cards, like I could pull a Lex Luthor and he could get a team-up card, and I can pull an Ultra Humanite, but I didn't get the Ultra Humanite team-up card. So I might not necessarily totally be able to use these super effective in sealed. Now, we don't know totally how the distribution is going to be. It could be maybe less random than we think, and it might just be like, hey, you got Lex Luthor, you got this card, and you also get that character in your booster. Maybe not. To be honest, we really don't know until we see what it's like with the set. But if it is the one way where it's like I could just pull the characters, and I know they have a team-up card that works, but I just didn't get that team-up card, it's like, sucks to suck. That's the luck. That's the draw, dude. But in Team Sealed, I think that will at least, buy 6 boosters versus only 2. Hopefully you're able to utilize that more. And with the way they make it sound like you'll be able to utilize it, I have good hopes being the key word here, that it will be useful and sealed. I do hope that it is useful and sealed.
Yeah,
if not,
I do wish that it hadn't been the style that they're doing it, which is set number 0.0 or point, whatever the rest of the number is. If it had just been like Batman team up, like Superman, if it was just that, then it was like any person in this set with Batman could team up with Superman, and you play this card. Even if they gave you like a 5-point cost or like a 2-point cost, if they just made it universal, they would have had to do like half of them. I get that they wanted to do specific episodes, so that makes a little bit more sense, but it literally is going to be, from what we've seen, the average, and depending on, like, there's going to be some characters that have no team-up cards because they're not like a team player, and there's going to be some people with a ton of team-up cards. There's literally going to be 300 plus team-up cards, and then if you add in the actual set number cards, like, you're going to need a 500 count box to, like, house these. It's going to be crazy. Before we get off topic of Justice League Unlimited, few questions we've got here with answers from WizKids. So, Kalder, can I use multiple team-up cards on my team on the same character? Yes and no. Ooh. If you wanted to use an alternate Batman card and an alternate Superman card, you'd be able to do so. So you can use the team-up card Batman and the team-up card Superman. If you wanted to use 3 different alternate Hawkgirl cards at once, you wouldn't be able to do so. You need to choose one at the beginning of the game. So you're replacing the original, like the physical character card, just, Hawkgirl number, yada yada, with the number point blah blah blah, like 0.1102, whatever. You're replacing the card with the other card. Multiple characters can have those cards swapped, but one character cannot have multiple cards swapped for them. Will there be team-up cards that reference characters outside of the booster release? Every character referenced on a team-up card is featured in Justice League Unlimited. While the team-up cards would be compatible with versions from other sets, one of our goals was to provide a fun in-set experience. Who knows what team-up cards might look up next time? The team expects to learn a lot from how fans enjoy them this time. So maybe they're taking feedback. But
okay.
Basically, if you pull a character and they have a card that says team up, it'll say team up like Fred Flintstone. There's going to be a Fred Flintstone in this set. Not really. There is no Fred Flintstone in the set, but you know what I mean. Last and final question for Justice League Unlimited. How many team-up cards are there per character? How many in total? There are sometimes only 1, and other times more than 10 team-up cards per character. Wonder Woman appears more frequently than Shining Knight in Justice League Unlimited, so the variety of team-up cards reflect that. In total, we're not going to reveal that number quite yet. It's about 350, or give or take. So,
we had to really Dr. disrespect my Shining Knight. That really cut deep, by the way.
And I know. Good thing is his team-up card's actually pretty sweet. But
yeah, he is really good.
The starter set, I'm guessing, will probably come with team-up cards. If it doesn't, then like what are you doing? But it'd be cool if the starter set, had a team-up card, a la the X-Men Regenesis one, where it's just like, you just like flip it and it's on the same thing. So it'll be like Batman, I'm just regular Batman, or Batman, I team up with the rest of the people in the starter set. Flash, I'm regular Flash, I team up with people in another starter set. And you can flip back and forth. That would be cool. Not sure if that's how it's going to be, but, that's all we really got to go on so far.
That's it. That's the knowledge. They also called this, is this the biggest news we have in just January, like for 2020? Like, I really hope it isn't.
I hope it isn't.
I hope we have some stuff.
This set isn't coming out for like 4 months.
Don't
this
play.
This comes out in April, so I guess, not quite 4. It's a little less than 3 now, but yeah.
Yeah. I am cautiously optimistic for team-up cards. If it gets a little obnoxious, trying to keep all of them or whatever, store them all. Obviously, you can pick and choose which ones you want. It might be hard. Hopefully, they make it sound like it's not hard getting rid of them, but I still feel like it might end up being that way. But we don't know.
Yeah.
We really don't know what the distribution is like until we see. Like it may have seemed like we were a little hard on it, and I don't like an episode where all we do is poo-poo on WizKids. I love the game. Seriously, I love Heroclix more than a lot of things. More than Simeon. I'm just saying.
I would hope
so. So yeah, like, I would cry if Heroclix didn't exist tomorrow. If Simeon did, I'm like, I gotta find a new co-host. Be like that sometimes. But no, seriously, I don't want it just to make it sound super negative. I really am cautiously optimistic to see how all the team-up cards work. I'm just curious and we don't know that much about them, so it seems like a bit of a burden from first glance. It seems like a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
My one problem with their article gives like some contradictory stuff because on the one hand, they want them to like increase meta diversity, which I'm not sure who wrote the article, but I don't know if they understand like the current state of meta. But if they do, and they also believe that, like, they also truly believe that these cards are going to increase the diversity of the meta, they'd have to know that, like, Justice League keyword has not broken into the meta since, I think, 2018 had a top 16 at Worlds. Justice League is a hard team, like a hard theme team to build around, because we just don't, at one time, we never have a ton of stuff to choose from.
Yeah. I mean, if you really made a meta Justice League theme team that is like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, hats off to you, because there's not really even a meta, Avengers, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor team.
Right.
But at least they have, on average, better figures and more figures to choose from than the Justice League does.
Yeah, so, they have like 4 sets a year more to choose from.
Right. Seriously, if they really do make these keywords meta in the traditional sense, in like what the current meta actually is and how it's being played and how different and weird it is, they can really make a Justice League theme team specifically using specific characters. Highlander only, no doubling up on people. It'll be interesting. I'm really curious to see it. If I can play an Injustice League Lex Luthor team, then I'm all for it. But yeah.
Yes. And if there is a team up card that's just like absolutely broken and like an instant meta one, I'm just going to be really interested to see how much people are going to charge for this extra piece of cardboard that came in their booster.
It's going to be a lot.
I swear, if I see one of these pieces of like cardboard going for like $50, it's going to be real sad. We already have ID cards that go for that much.
I can't wait to release cardboard.
Actual, yeah. Hawk Girl plus additional team up card. Yeah. I don't even.
But is that all we want to talk about?
I think that is enough. It looks like if it's a team up with a single character, that it's going to give you like a single power. Whereas if it's a team up with multiple characters, it will give you like a power and then an additional power if you have more than just like the one. So it looks interesting. It looks like it's going to force more teams, and I do think it's going to be really fun during Sealed. So I am excited for the Sealed event. I just don't know if it's going to be enough to hit all of the points that they mentioned.
That is fair. Moving on. Finally done with news. Boy, there was so much. We're going to go ahead and go on into the community section.
There are dozens of us. Dozens!
This week, Community Tuesday's question is based around a couple of the fixes they made, erratas and clarifications they made for the Captain America set. They fixed the Battalion V keyword on one of the Citizens V. It was spelt wrong. They fixed Arno Starks ignores outdoor blocking terrain, because that is not a thing that exists. So they fixed that, maybe making people, that being printed on the card, confused people, and made it think it was actually a thing. So they were playing on like hedge maze or like whatever and totally ignoring all the blocking, which is just no, not in my house. So the Community Tuesday's question is, targeting keywords, combat symbols, WizKids is on top of the Captain America fixes, but which ones did they miss from previous sets? Simeon, you want to go ahead and read the first one there on Facebook?
On Facebook, top fan Tyler Murin says, Arno Stark got hit super hard. I know mechanically he's the same, but you really need better keywords. If he's G and A, I think gonna win map. Deadpool title character needs keywords. Serpent Society needs a full roster in Modern. Yeah, we kind of rotated a whole bunch of them. Pilot has been missed on a ton of figures. And the Paint Your Own Cyclops got the shaft with only 2 keywords. That's true when compared to Wolverine. Wolverine got, I think, the Paint and Play Wolverine got, I think, 90% of Marvel keywords. No, he got a lot, but Cyclops got, I don't even think they gave him, what's the one with his dad? The...
What?
Corsairs group of space pirates. Yeah. He hung out with them.
Starjammers? Is that what they are?
He should have had that keyword. He got like X-Men and double X-Men. I don't know. I think he only got like 3 keywords, and it was they were all X-Men related. They weren't any of like the small groups that he had joined. Adam. Yeah. All right, what do we got on Twitter?
On the old Twitter, Citizen Chris Kurtz says keywords or power colors on dials for some sets. So Secret Wars comes to mind. All the power colors were really wonky in that set, and we had to go based off the card. So that was kind of a bummer when it got released. To the point
where they were handing them out at Worlds to fix it. That was crazy. All right, Adam Makajewski says Arno Stark should have kept ignores outdoor blocking. His value dropped so much because of that. And where the heck is the Chase Captain America? Make a cap with a shield FX mark. It could have created blocking terrain marker whichever direction it was facing. That would have been really cool.
Me and you. I agree.
So if he's got it on his base, he's got energy shield and combat reflexes. If he makes a ranged attack, you put it on the hit character, and then as a free action, like once per turn, that's how free actions work, you can target using like the square that it is from, and caps like range and line of fire. So like the shield can keep bouncing between people or something. That'd be cool.
That'd be really cool. I like it.
Yeah. What did they do by
Aaron?
That'd be
Aaron on. Yada bud. Aaron on Twitter says, Spear Force of Spider-Man Baron Zemo's real name is Heinrich Zero, when everything about the figure in keywords is Helmet Zero. It's a little thing, but it always throws me off when I use them. Yeah, the thinner, like more tight suit is Helmet. It's really weird. Like that Baron Zemo doesn't work the same. Super odd.
Last but not least, on Facebook, Matt Greichino says, Deadpool mark with the mouth keywords. They have yet to fix those. He's no longer modern.
They never will.
Yeah, they just won't at this point, but man.
I hated that for so long. X Factor Initiative burned into my mind. Why? Why does he have those keywords? You can't play him on a mercenary. It sucks because he's a title Deadpool.
Yeah, he should have had Assassin, X-Men, X-Force. Should have had,
Deadpool,
the most
all the stuff.
Deadpool keywords, yeah.
It was such a huge bummer that he had the wrong keywords. And the fact that they never changed it really sucks. It really sucks. Andre, however he says it, on Facebook says, F that. I want to see you get it right on the 062 Baron Zemo's power. Get on this. I have no idea which one of that Baron Zemo's powers he's talking about, though. Like, none of them seem wrong based on HC Realms. Like, his leadership seems fine. His charge, running shot, stealth, like, I don't know what's wrong with that. I guess he doesn't ignores hindering for movement, so that kind of sucks. But, like, I don't know what the glaring flaw is about any of his powers. I guess I'm curious as to what he means. But that is a close for the community section. Pretty short this week. That's okay. We had a ton of news. We did get Malcolm Rush questions. We will be doing that next week. Hopefully, it's a little slower and we can just talk about the WKO we're going to go to and some other stuff. And that way, it would be a lot simpler of an episode. As always, you can find Dial H for Heroclix at facebook.com/Dial H for Heroclix. We are on Twitter at Dial H4. That's the number 4, Heroclix. If you want to send us an email, you can do so at dialh4heroclix@gmail.com. You can find us on Podbean, iTunes, and for the most part, wherever podcasts are found. If you want to get entered into the monthly giveaway, January is already over. I'm giving away a lot of prizes. All the figures I pulled at pre-releases will be given away, including like my prize boosters and stuff, because sadly I didn't pull that many super rares. But we're giving those away, like we said, in March or whenever they eventually release the Fantastic Four starter. We're going to be giving away a Fantastic Four starter away. In February, I'll probably see what's in the few cases of the Captain America set I get. It might be giving away some of that or some WKO prizes, and so we'll be going to a few WKOs. Might be giving stuff like that away. If you want to get in on those giveaways and also join our Patreon Discord server, where now I'm starting to get a little more organized. We play some Bad Samaritan sometimes. We just did that for the first time today. I'm trying to get that more organized. I said it a few months ago that we're going to try to do it, and there's a lot of planning that goes into it, so we're going to work on that. But if you want to do giveaways, Discord, all that fun stuff, and get action tokens and stickers from Dilate Your Heroclix, you can do so. Patreon.com/DilateYourHeroclix. All of these are in the show notes. You can find links to all of these websites, beautiful things, and more in the show notes of the podcast. That is my spiel. Anything you want to say before you go ahead and read us out of here, Simeon?
Nope. Captain America officially releases next Wednesday. Up until that point, you can get some pre-release prices. And I know Cool Stuff has the Fantastic Four starter. It's $5 off MSRP right now, so it is $30 on pre-order. And then if you use code DIAL5, you'll get an additional 5% off to save a little bit more money. It looks like it's going to be a really cool starter with bystanders, maps, campaign stuff. So there's going to be like some little like play-by-play things that aren't normal HeroClix gameplay, like little scenario packs. And then the figures are just real solid so far. So I would definitely pick one up if you're on the fence about it. Just take a look at the WizKid videos, because between the maps and the scenario packs, I think it's worth it. But with that, I'm going to tell you that Dial H for HeroClix is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock every day. Unless it's pre-order, then it's not yet in stock, but it will be sent to you once it is in stock, including all the latest HeroClix singles and sealed products. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Happy trails.